Let's talk a little bit about the Duggars, about Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar of Arkansas, stars of the hit reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting, and about their now 27-year-old oldest son Josh and some things he did as a teen that he never really had to answer for. But we'll also talk about why he might not be out of the woods just yet. Josh Duggar can still be charged for crimes he might have committed as a teenager. March 2002, 14-year-old Josh Duggar, racked with guilt, admitted to his parents he'd been fondling two of his little sister's breasts and vaginas as they were sleeping. It happened one time when one of them was asleep on a couch, and at least 4 times he snuck in their room at night to do it to both. A couple months later, July 2002, Josh touched a babysitter's breasts over her clothes as she was asleep on a couch in the Duggar home. Josh admitted it to his parents, who told the babysitter's parents, and Josh apologized for what he did. The following March 2003, now 15-year-old Josh Duggar was alone in a laundry room with one of his little sisters. He picked her up onto a washing machine and put his hands up her dress. Then finally, the straw that broke the camel's back. Josh's little sister was sitting on his lap for story time, so we're talking about maybe like a 5-year-old, when he pulled down her pants and fondled her. When news first broke about all this, the Duggars responded on Facebook. Jim Bob and Michelle said when Josh was a teen, he made mistakes. Josh said when he was a teen, he acted inexcusably and he's sorry. And his wife said she's always known about Josh's teenage mistakes. But what they're calling teenage mistakes are actually 12 counts of second-degree sexual assault. Arkansas law defines sexual contact as touching, directly or through clothing, a female's vagina or breasts. A person commits sexual assault in the second degree if he sexually touches someone who cannot consent, and someone who's sleeping cannot consent. That's 10 counts. A person also commits sexual assault in the second degree if he is a minor who sexually touches someone under 14. That's another 2, for a total 12 counts of second-degree sexual assault. Jim Bob and Michelle finally decided to do something about Josh's crimes, but notice only because he wouldn't stop committing them. In fact, he escalated from sneaking in on sleeping victims to brazen attacks in broad daylight. Even then, they didn't go to authorities, they went to church. And together with church elders, they decided Josh needed help. Someone suggested Piney Ridge Treatment Center in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which has a program specifically designed for 7 to 17-year-olds who cannot control their sexual behavior. So, in other words, specifically designed for people like Josh Duggar. But get this, Jim Bob and Michelle wouldn't send him there because they didn't want him meeting messed up people. Josh got sent away the next day, and he was gone until July, but it's not really clear where he went. In 2006, Jim Bob told police Josh went to a Christian program in Little Rock where he did physical labor and got counseling. 4 kids told police Josh went to a training center where he did physical work and read scripture. But Michelle told police it wasn't really a training center. The guy wasn't even a licensed counselor, just some guy they knew who was remodeling a building and mentored kids. In any case, Josh was only gone about 4 months, and he didn't go to someplace that specializes in people like him. So you think 4 months was enough? When Josh got back, Jim Bob took him to speak with Corporal Hutchens, someone Jim Bob knew at the Arkansas State Police. Josh told Corporal Hutchens what he'd done, and Corporal Hutchens warned Josh he could get in serious trouble if he kept it up. But Corporal Hutchens didn't do anything about it. He didn't even file a report. Someone wrote all this down in a letter. The Duggars stuck the letter inside a book, and in 2006, they accidentally loaned the book to friends. These friends found the letter, read the letter, and freaked out. They confronted the Duggars, who admitted everything, and so on December 7th, 2006, they called to report the Duggars. On December 12th, police interviewed Jim Bob, Michelle, and 7 kids, including 3 of Josh's victims. Everyone pretty much said the same thing. Josh did what he did in 2002 and 2003, went away for a couple months, found God, and he was cured. He's never been a threat to anybody since. But police never spoke with Josh in 2006. He was scheduled to meet with them on December 21st, but Jim Bob called to cancel on the 19th. Police called Jim Bob to reschedule on the 20th, but he never called back. And on December 23rd, 2006, the police closed the case because the statute of limitations had run. Second-degree sexual assault is a Class D felony when committed by a minor with a victim under 14. And when Josh committed these crimes, the statute of limitations was 3 years for Class D second-degree sexual assault. So the statute for a March 2002 crime would have run in March 2005. But in 2003, after Josh committed his crimes, Arkansas changed the statute of limitations for certain crimes against children. Because when children are victims of a crime, they typically tell their parents and rely on them to report it. But certain crimes, like child abuse or sexual abuse of a child, are often committed by family, so there's no one there to report it. So for these crimes, they made it so as long as the crime was never reported, the 3-year clock doesn't start ticking until the victim turns 18, and so it doesn't run until he or she turns 21. Changes to a statute of limitations apply as long as the statute hasn't already run. The statute on Josh's earliest 2002 crimes wouldn't have run until 2005, so these changes would have applied, but they didn't help. Because remember, the Duggars had reported Josh in July 2003, so the statute ran in July 2006. It's hard to see why they didn't at least try to prosecute Josh. I mean, they could have argued, since there was no report, it was not reported. But whatever, it's too late now. But now is a good time to talk about how backwards Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar are looking at things. Megyn Kelly asked them about legal obligations they might have had to report Josh, and Jim Bob replied, "As parents, you're not mandatory reporters. The law allows for parents to do what they think is best for their child, and so we got him out of the home, and we sent him down to this place." What about rape? Jim Bob saying if parents find out their kid raped someone, the law allows for them to do what they think is best for their child. That can't be right? Because it's not. Every state has mandatory reporting laws, but these laws are not about criminals, they're about victims. Certain people are required by law to report suspected child abuse. If, for instance, a teacher, doctor, or police officer has any reason to suspect a child has been abused, he or she must report it. Parents are presumed reporters. If you had any reason to suspect your child was the victim, why would you not report the crime? Mandatory reporting laws have nothing to do with Josh Duggar, and everything to do with the 5 little girls he sexually abused. But again, those cases are closed, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. It doesn't mean there's no hope for justice. What if 4 months in Little Rock wasn't enough? What if there's more to the story, like an unreported incident, or maybe a 6th victim? Then Josh Duggar can maybe still be charged for it. Let's say he fondled a 10-year-old in May 2002 and it was never reported. At the time of the crime, statute's 3 years, but got extended in 2003 to the victim's 21st birthday, which would have been in 2013. It got extended again in 2011 to the victim's 28th birthday, which would have pushed it out until 2020. But in 2013, Arkansas got rid of the statute of limitations for second-degree sexual assault of a child. Josh could be charged when he's 60. I will be the first to admit I have personalized this story way more than I should. But let me tell you, that's because I've got 2 little girls, and so this story hits a little too close to home. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar want everyone to know their little girls would have never known what had happened to them if someone hadn't told them. What does that make it better? What if some teenager touched your little girls? Would it make a difference they were sleeping? And what about the babysitter's parents? If they had known about Josh, you think their little girl still would have been a victim? If there's a teenage boy like Josh Duggar in my neighborhood, I hope his parents do the right thing. What the Duggars did wouldn't be enough, not even close. Because sexual assault of a child is a particularly devious crime. And anyone who sexually assaults a child needs serious help from people who know what they're doing. Do we agree? Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. And until next time, take it easy everyone.